the Chinatown Wars began when Esther kicked out all the punks because they were destroying her club.
She started banning people.
And then I guess, I don't really know that much about the owners of the Hong Kong, but they capitalized on that by booking these bands that had been cast out.
Yeah.
Now we went to both sides. Like the Plimsolls were really a great band, for example, but they were considered power pop. They played at Madame Wong's.
And we saw the motels at Madame Wong's,
and
more
the
and
Police
more,
and the B-52s played.
B-52s
I mean, that's
Madame
kind of
Wong's.
amazing.
She was bringing in named people. The Hong Kong was booking only locals. She was bringing in people like the Police that were safe, power pop, kind of punk edge, but that schism had not truly been defined yet. And she was definitely leaning on the side of new wave, and it was safer. It brought in more people. She was taking out ads in the LA Times and in the Weekly and the Reader. She was a good advertiser, and she knew how to promote. Hong Kong had smaller ads with more bands, and you didn't know the names of any of these people. They were all like unknowns.
Well,
to the
general public, but they didn't have records.
No, they didn't have records.
But like to the punk scene, they were the big draw.
Yeah.
Like the Plugs was already a big band, and the Go-Go's apparently opened for the Plugs, and nobody really knew who the Go-Go's were yet.
And they were still considered punk. They weren't new wave yet.
Yeah. So what do you remember about Esther? Because you interviewed her a few times.
She was intimidating. She was clearly a good businesswoman. Careful in her answers, but at the same time, not hesitant to slander if it served her purposes. When the whole battle started between the Hong Kong, which was right across the courtyard, they started booking people that Madame Wong's would no longer book, because Madame Wong had learned that the punks caused trouble. They tried to drink illegally when they were under 21. Even when they were in the band, they tried to get drinks. And they didn't respect her place the way she wanted it respected, clearly. Whereas the Hong Kong was a little bit more of a dump. Food was worse, if that was possible. The only thing you could eat at the Hong Kong were the egg rolls.
And even they
were like, oh, they're grotesque, but you could eat them. But they had tables and chairs at first at the Hong Kong, then they took those out because they realized, let's just pack this place, get people in here. And it was 18 and over.
But Esther was dubbed the Dragon Lady.
I never heard that.
I did.
I never heard
her
anybody
as the
call her Dragon Lady, and it's kind of racist. I mean,
It's definitely racist. But supposedly Casey Kasem dubbed her the Dragon Lady on a live interview. But I think she was also remembered as the godmother of punk, so.
Yeah. Although she was not really a godmother. I mean, she was an abusive godmother. She didn't really support the punks.
Godmother of New Wave. The godmother of power pop.
Well, she was, I think she showed that a restaurateur could make an important contribution to local musical culture. That's what she did. And other restaurants were, I mean, you had mariachis, maybe, but you didn't really have like these little bands that later got labels, starting off in restaurants and playing. There was a whole club circuit and a venue in Hollywood and in the West Side, and pay to play did exist. And Madame Wong's was not pay to play, as I recall. She paid you something, or you got free beer or something, but you didn't pay to play. And at that time, in the late 70s, for a lot of these young bands, that was a huge issue, was you had to actually pay, print up your old flyers, staple your crap all over Hollywood Boulevard. You had a certain amount of tickets you could give away, and that was your payment. And Madame Wong's, I don't think that she ever got into that harsh sort of exploit the band mentality.
But I think maybe that's why the Chinatown Wars happened too, was that Hong Kong was probably was riding on her coattails, so to speak.
Yes.
Like she was the one bringing people down here, and then they just opened up and went for it.